here via YouTube to virtually give you a book review on the Dr. John Gray book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. Most of you have probably heard of this book. It's very popular, and it has a lot of emotional-based therapy and dealing with communication between heterosexual men and women in monogamous relationships. The intent of this book is to help couples strengthen their relationship, reduce resentment, and keep relationships together by enhancing their communication, because the author advocates that communication is the main reason why couples fall apart. Now, this is assuming that both couples are trying to work together to resolve the relationship and are motivated to have a healthy relationship. This doesn't address issues of domestic violence or substance abuse or victimization. This is two mutual partners attempting to work on the relationship and with the intent of providing for and caring for their partner. With that intent, if couples are supposedly in love and supposedly want to do the best for their partner and show their love to their partner, the failing is the communication, and it's based on a lack of empathy. The lack of empathy is assuming that your partner will feel loved and emotionally fulfilled the same way you do. The premise of the book is men feel emotionally fulfilled and show their love very differently than women, and vice versa. Now, I was going to review all 13 chapters, chapter by chapter, and the first take of this video took about 25 minutes doing so. I'm supposing these are about 10 minutes long, so I'm just going to hit the key points of the book instead of doing a chapter by chapter review. It is 13 chapters. It is over 300 pages long. The main premise is what I already discussed, but to specifically talk about the differences, men are emotionally fulfilled by being able to help their partner, feeling that they can fix problems, so they need to feel trusted and relied upon. Women, on the other hand, feel emotionally fulfilled when they communicate to their partner, they can express themselves, talk about how they're feeling, and they get emotionally fulfilled by receiving that same love and communication from their partner. That love and communication is an assumption of the female that you're so in tune that you should not have to ask for help, that their partner should already know what they would like them to do. And that's where it becomes a little unrealistic and can lead to resentment when the male is not living up to the female's expectations that weren't explicitly stated. Now, a valid point with the female argument is to be emotionally fulfilled, instead of trust and reliability of the male, the female needs to feel self-worth by feeling appreciated by their partner for the things that they do, in addition to being wanted by their partner, because the main fear of women is abandonment, whereas the main fear of men is lack of acceptance. So on the side of the male, since I gave a criticism of the females not explicitly stating their needs, criticism of the male is just because they can fix problems doesn't mean they necessarily have to do so. Since males are self-reliant, a female offering unsolicited advice may have the best intentions, but to the male it comes off as pointing fingers and not trusting them, not relying on them, and they get defensive. Now, since males tend to want to be self-reliant, they will need more alone time than the females, so they will, what the author calls, withdraw into their cave. So the man cave, whether it's in their room, taking a drive in their car, going to a den of some sort, it's just a time for a male to reflect. Once again, this is not someone who's leaving for infidelity, substance abuse, but because of the woman's fears, because of their emotional fulfillment and need to be appreciated and need to be, trying to think of the best word, need to assure themselves that they are not being abandoned. That can be seen as abandonment, and their lack of communication can be seen as a valid threat. So even though the male may justifiably need his space and that needs to be honored, what the male can do to ease her fears is to explain, just like the female should explicitly explain what they would like to be done to help them out. The male should explicitly explain when they need some time to themselves, and most importantly, that they are coming back. This is just a time to reflect. So that's the main premise of the book. There's several chapters breaking down techniques and methods to come off and communicate in the other partner's language and fulfill their needs to feel loved, instead of just doing the things that you would want to be done to you to feel loved. However, I will bring up one main specific tactic. It's also been discussed in our classes, is the use of I statements. I statements versus you statements works for both genders. However, the context is different. Where a female might need to address things that she would like done, but not come across as criticizing the male because she still wants those things to be done, using an I statement would explicitly get the point across, so he would not have to guess what she would want. But furthermore, it would not be attacking his credibility or attacking him as someone who is not doing what his fair share. It's using an I statement says what you want to do. I really need some help. I feel this way about something, versus you never do the dishes. You never take me out. You always keep to yourself. The I statement can also be used for the male when talking to the woman. So instead of saying, you need to leave me alone, you're emotional, you're irrational, I need my space, instead of attacking her emotional needs, which are also valid, using an I statement is, I need some time to reflect on what you said. I need some time to think about it by myself, but I will be back. I just need that time, but I will be back to discuss and talk with you because I know that's something you need. See the difference? So anyway, either partner, it puts them on the defensive. Both genders should use I statements. However, the context may be different, because you have to remember what fulfills and motivates your partner, not doing the things or saying the things that would fulfill or motivate you. Lastly, some criticisms of the book are obviously the very stereotypical statements was going to be my criticism. However, it's not. The reason I'm not going to use the criticism that not all women are the same and not all men are the same is because it was addressed in the very first chapters of the book, and I felt they did that adequately. They did discuss role reversals, or females who have more male characteristics or vice versa. And they discussed just reversing the roles in that case simply. But the author did challenge the reader to honestly assess yourself and your partner and determine if that's a true role reversal, or if you're just acting out male characteristics when you're a female, or vice versa, to adhere to society's demands. For example, a female who works in a male-dominated role may be mirroring male traits to get along in her workforce, but she may still have those very traditional feminine needs which are being denied, which is one of the main reasons why she's having so many emotional issues and communication issues in her relationship at home. Or a male who was raised in a female-headed household and had no male role models might mirror several feminine characteristics, but may be having trouble communicating in his relationship still, because even though he acts very feminine in these needs for fulfillment and to feel loved and to express love, it may be because he's been denied or punished for those behaviors in the past and feels repressed. So the author does say there are individuals who do have legitimate role reversals, but cautions people to honestly assess yourself to see if you've just been denying your needs or if that's truly the case. So I thought that was a valid point, so that's no longer my criticism. My only criticism is this is obviously only for heterosexuals. In monogamous relationships, alternate lifestyles would not apply. I would like to see cultural studies to show that different cultures between men and women communicate the same way, because even though there may be some variances within the United States culturally and economically, I know there's going to be several differences when you do a countrywide study, so I think this is more applicable middle class Caucasian United States for the most part. Lastly, the Venus and Mars thing is not doing it for me. It's hokey. They make this false scenario that men originally came from Mars, women originally came from Venus, they moved in together on Earth. It's not professional. It downplays the content of the book, and it's hard to be taken seriously, which is why this original edition came out in the 90s. It's been edited several times thereforth, but I've not wanted to read it. I was encouraged to read it by Scotty Hagen, but I had a hard time reading it and opening up to it because of that language. I also think, since you need two partners who are committed to working on communication, you have to have both of them read the book. And statistically, males do not go to therapy, and males don't read self-help books. And the fact that it's made in such a hokey manner may put male readers off. Then again, it is a #1 New York Times bestseller, so I could be wrong. That's my book review. I hope you enjoyed it. If anyone would like to borrow the book, this is my own copy, so if you would like it, you can call me and I'll give it to you, and you can just pass it along to the next person who wants it. I hope you all enjoy your book review in August. I'll be thinking of you while I'm at drill. See you later.